Jack here, owner of Hockey Alley, bringing you back hockey history. Today I got a special guest, Gary Smith. He's the one who builds goalie masks, custom made, and replicas of the original ones, and is bringing back hockey history. How are you, Gary?
I'm doing fine. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Good. It's great that we got the chance to talk on the phone, and you explained what you do over the years, what you've done for the goalie masks. And can you explain a little bit about how you got started?
Yeah, as a young hockey player growing up in Canada in Sault Ste. Marie, I was always in love with goalie masks and the position, and I always wanted like Jacques Plante, of course, was my hero, and I always wanted a mask like his, and I had one of his factory made fiber sport masks, but then I wanted a custom made one as I was getting to about the bantam age, around grade 9, I think, 15 years old, and then my buddy and I made our own, and that was quite a disaster, but they worked. I still have my teeth in my eyes, but then I just continued, and then luckily there was a mask maker in my hometown, and his masks were a little too expensive, so that's why we made our own. So he was very kind, and he took me under his wing, and he taught me a lot about the basics of the materials and other aspects that it takes a lot of time to figure out yourself when you're learning things like that. So yeah.
And
how
many?
was,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. How many masks have you produced over the years?
Geez, that's a good question.
Approximately.
Hundreds. Yeah, hundreds. That's all I could. I wouldn't be able to guess at that, because there's so many I've made that I've forgotten I even made them. People bring them back to me. Oh yeah. So
And
yeah.
are all the masks made the same way as far as the layering of the fiberglass? Say, if you're trying to replicate a former goalie in the NHL that he has specialized mask, are they pretty much all the same way made, or are they layered differently?
That's a good question. There's different materials now that in the old days they used just basic fiberglass, regular general purpose glass, and polyester resin. I know that's just technical stuff, but now there's so many better resins and aramid fibers for Kevlar and carbon fiber and whatnot.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, so you can. So it depends on what they want. If they want the deluxe everything, well, yeah, you can do that, but it's very pricey.
Yeah. Are they still allowed to wear a mask, traditional goalie mask? Are they allowing that in the leagues, men's leagues and beer leagues?
I think, I think that would depend on where you are. Many beer leagues and whatnot will allow them. Many won't, I guess. I don't know. I don't play myself anymore, so I'm not too familiar with all the rules. So.
Yeah, me too. I don't follow the rules anymore. It's changed a lot. So I'm just it's changing every year. The rules constantly change. They minimize the goalie's gear and all that stuff too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. When I was a player,
yes,
coming up, I wore my own masks, and right through midgets and then into junior. And that was the late 70s, 79, 80, 81, around there in junior. And up here in Canada, they were starting to outlaw them at the minor hockey level. You had to wear a cage and a helmet. And then that later became CSA cage. So when I played varsity university hockey late after junior, I had to wear a CSA cage and helmet. And ironically, that was the only time I ever got my face cut.
Wow. So with a mask, so say you take a typical wrist shot in the face, does it leave a bruise, or is there enough padding under the mask to absorb the shock?
The theory as a theory, is when it's custom made for your face, it's contoured to your the shape of your cheekbones and
Yeah.
nose and everything, and upon impact, it dissipates the the energy from the puck, right? So
Yeah.
it's supposed to spread through. That's a nice theory. No, it hurt. and you don't put and you try not to have it too padded, right? The
Oh.
old face masks, because they want to fit right to your face so you can see.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a slow evolution to the helmet and cage, and then to the combination of the fiberglass mask with cage that they wear today. Yeah.
Yeah. Any favorites over the years that you like? Your favorite goalie that wore a certain mask that you like?
Oh, yeah. I always liked the Higgins style mask with like Gilles Gilbert's.
Oh,
And
with the stars.
yeah,
That has the stars
yeah.
on it.
And
Yeah.
as far as design, like that's the mask and paint work. I loved Harrison's work in the 70s. Denny Heron, simple straight line graphics with bright colors that stood out. You could tell, and nothing too busy.
Yeah.
Although I did love Gilles Breton's mask too.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that the like he looks like a monster or wolf or what
Yeah,
was it?
it's a lion or
A lion,
tiger.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just brilliant because it was just a total change in direction in terms of mask art.
Wow.
And whatnot. Yeah.
And the one I like is the Jerry Cheever's ones with the stitches. And I wanted to ask you if you know, did Jerry Cheever's really get hit there and they put the stitches, or were just a design?
Funny story. When I co-authored a book called Saving Face with Jim Hines, and we have Jerry did the foreword, and he was just saying that the shot it was in during a not training camp, but practice, I think, and he just received a little flick shot that probably wouldn't have hurt a canary, in his words. And so he was kind of goofing around, and he was notorious for not enjoying practices. So he rolled around on the ice, and then Frosty Forrestal, the trainer, they took him down, and I think Harry Sinden was getting a little upset that only one goalie, and went down to see what was going on, and so they drew the stitch on the mask because he looked like bad. I think Jerry was down there having a dart during practice. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the other one
I
I
love
like.
that mask too. Of course, it was brilliant with all the stitches later, and I get a lot of people want that one, of course.
Yeah. The other one I like is a Tony Esposito with the cage combo on the eyes.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, that was kind of a design that never caught on with many goalies, but it was kind of the inspiration for the modern mask. When you think of it.
Yeah, with the cage. And what's the most selling mask that you made over the years? The one that design and
it would be between Bernie Perrant and Ken Dryden. Which makes sense, right?
Yes.
And Cheevers would be right up there as well. Yes, made a lot of those.
Yeah, and so as I heard that you were telling me that you also made masks for the movies.
Yeah, I did. First one, believe it or not, didn't have anything to do with hockey. It was Exit Wounds.
Oh.
Steven Seagal movie. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
And they phoned me up. I used to have a website and everything. This was in the late 90s, early 2000s probably. And they phoned me up and said, "Can you get a mask here like yesterday?" And I said, "No, it takes too much time." And I turned them down. And my wife said, "Are you crazy? Why'd you do that?" And so then they actually phoned me back the next day, and because I gave them some other mask makers that might help them out, and they said no, and so I said okay, and I took a weekend and did the mask for them, and
nice.
got shipped out, and that was the first one, and then word of mouth got to the Miracle people, I guess, and they contacted me to. I think that was a Disney movie.
Yeah, that's a Disney movie. Yeah.
Yeah, they contacted me, and they gave me a bit more time, and and that was a fun project because it was hard because they wanted 3.
Oh, 3 masks.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
There couldn't be no difference at all because the continuity of the filming, right? Because if one gets a puck mark, they want to change it around to whatever it might be because there's a lot of shots being taken.
Yes.
Filmed and pucks, I guess. Yeah, Bill Ranford wore it, I guess, in that he was the stand-in.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, he's the guy who played Jim Craig on the ice, with the mask on.
Yeah. And any NHL players that you made masks for that played with them, or?
No, not really. I had some guys in junior and that, and like I was telling you earlier, when I stuck to when they got up to pros, they got they had endorsement, and trainers and whatnot were involved and had to they had to wear certain masks and equipment.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I like about the old masks is that it brought you recognize the goalies. Every goalie was looking different. Today, all the goalies look the same. They have the same type of cage combo. The helmet mask with the cage. They all look the same.
Too.
The cat eye.
Yeah.
They call it.
Yeah. It's become, and the paint work is amazing, and their masks are beautiful, but they wear Dryden wore 2 masks through his whole career, and they were both messed up by the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, he experimented, but ultimately stuck to 2, right?
Yeah.
And if back when I played, I used to wear my gear right out because it just felt right. Yeah. And if something feels right, you didn't want, and you had the superstition too. It had the luck in it, or whatever it might be. So yeah, and you're right. You recognize Cheevers, you recognize Pavel, all these goalies from the 70s and 80s that were, not just their style of play, but their mask. And the ironic part was when 59, when the mask was introduced, the general managers and coaches were saying, "Oh, the people in the stands won't recognize the goalie."
But they did.
Yeah, certainly did. Yeah.
The Friday the 13th movie, Jason Wears the Mask. Now, what goalie would you say in the NHL had similar mask to that movie?
That mask was based on actually a fiber sport, Jacques Plante's factory.
Oh, okay.
And they had about 3 basic designs, and that was one of them.
Okay.
And different sizes, but that was one of them. The whole pattern and everything. In the movie, it was a bit modified, but that was kind of based on that one. And it's an iconic mask, of course.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend on one of the videos about how to bend the rules, and I came up with what about having the goalie's mask where he has another inch and a half above the mask, comes around as an extra layer where it could block shots. Is that legal?
That's a good, interesting idea. I've thought of that. Esposito used to always modify things, mesh between the legs and stuff. I think. But if you've played goal and you've almost been hit in the head with a really hard slap shot that just whizzes by, and you can actually hear it whistle if it's hard enough.
Wow.
If that's going to catch something at the parameter of your head, that's probably going to tear your head off or give you a whiplash,
But just it has a layer that comes up about 1.5 inches. It's like how would you say, like a wall around the whole side from the ears on up. So if you drop, nothing goes,
Yeah, you could deflect it, but I'm sure anything they have that's extra, they seem to be.
So they'll stop it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Remember Garth Snow's shoulder
Yes,
pads?
the shingles.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I miss about goalies is they used to be creative and used to have extra gear and whatever, right? And
Yeah.
it was cool. You know, you try to see what would stop the pucks. But now I guess they got the rules going. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I watched today's game, and the goalies, they for me, and it's a very efficient, brilliant technique. You know what they play, the way they play today, and you'd have to because of the technology. The shots are harder, they're faster, they're
Yeah.
you know, with the sticks, and they're more athletic.
Yes.
You know, let's face it, these guys, pro players, are training. They're a little more serious. Well, I never really got to that level, but like coming up in junior, like I wasn't very serious about that sort of thing. You know, I just sort of relied on playing and then getting as far as I could, and then, you know.
Yeah. If the money's there, that's why everybody's very competitive too. With the money.
Yeah.
The money's good.
Yeah.
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 That's another factor. It's a very big game that way. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone wanted to buy one of your masks, where can they contact you?
Oh, well, I'm on Facebook right now. Now I'm looking at building a web page. I used to have it, a web page, when, you know, the .com craze started in the late 90s. I had, you know, classicmask.com, and now I'm kind of, you know, I'm retired. I just want to get back into this and do some more work, and I'm all set up and Facebook, and now I'm going to be meeting with somebody, maybe about getting a website put up, because people ask me about a website.
Yeah.
Right now it's Facebook. Gary Maskman. That's what it.
And is
That's
there
how
any
I.
email? Do you have an email that they can?
Oh
reach
yeah,
you?
it's maskman.smith@gmail.com.
All one word?
Yep.
Okay.
And that way, yeah, I'll respond within a few days. Like I said, I'm still trying to keep this as a hobby. You know, I don't. But there's been a lot of interest, which is nice, and you know, I've got to be making these things and then maintaining a website and, you know, answering messengers and all that is and walking dogs and all the other things I do in my life. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it small.
Yeah.
It takes a while for a turnover if I'm making it from a mold. But the nice thing is that I do have the time and I can put into it. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it takes a bit of time.
And these masks that you make, how close are they to like original from the 60s and 70s that the guys wore? Would they say they're identical to a T, or are they a little bit different with the materials used, tiny bit different?
I've got several masks that have been, and the molds of the original mask.
Mm-hmm.
Molds taken from original, like a Jacquemin, Prant, 2 Prants, a couple Plants, Achievers, Liut, things like that. So that's nice. And that really helps. Yeah, I use those for a replica. But if you wanted like a custom made mask for your face, there's no, and you wanted it to look like Jerry Cheever's mask, I could put the holes and the stitches and everything perfect, but it might not look exactly like Jerry Cheever's if you had a thin face or whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
So
this is great because people who love hockey history and they, you know, love goaltending or they love the masks. These are great items. They're just not easy to find. I've never actually held one in my hand, real goalie mask. I wouldn't know even what weighs or anything. I mean, I've held a plastic one like from the toy store, but not like a real goalie mask. I've never held one in my hand, so don't know.
a really well-made face mask is you'd be surprised how at first you might think it's a bit heavy, but then you go, no, it's pretty light when it's on your face, and it should be fairly thin. You know, because if you've filed and beveled the holes and made everything nice, it would, you know, it's not a thick mask and it's lightweight, form fitted to your face, so you don't even feel it until you get hit in the face with a puck.
Oh,
then you feel it.
You can feel
but,
it.
yeah, they weren't great for that, but a different game, right?
Yeah.
You stood, you know, wooden sticks. They came off the wings with a big, you know, waster at your head.
Very different.
You usually had time to get out of the way or duck, or if you did, you know, if you did catch you, yeah, it hurt.
Yeah.
but it did with a helmet and cage too.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I got with a helmet and cage. You know, and so it just broke the wire.
Yeah, that's scary. Scary stuff.
And the newer ones are much better. You know, especially in the NHL, they're coming off the wing and just rifling now. And you leave your, like Kelly Rudy said, leave your brain at the bench and butterfly, and it works though. Yeah. But you're gonna get hit in the head a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You know? And the sticks made a difference. You know, with the new composite sticks, obviously. The shots are a lot quicker than with.
Yeah. It's a different kind of shot too. Everybody can shoot hard now.
Yeah, it's just
you know, like in the olden days, you got 4 guys you got to really watch for, right?
Yeah.
And the rest guys on every team you played, and now it's like everybody can be a sniper.
Yeah. It definitely made a difference, and they're allowing more curve again than it used to be. So that makes a difference on the shots too.
God.
Yeah.
I'll sit back and watch.
Yeah. Definitely, Gary. It was so nice to talk to you. Thank you for coming on and talking to me about the history of masks and how they were made. We learned a lot. I want to thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it, and wish you all the best, and happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you.
My American friends.
Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. You got it. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.